Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will see about AWS Serverless Lambda. So today we will cover uh, what is a non-serverless with example of EC2 and what is a serverless with the example of AWS Lambda, and how can create a Lambda function, and then how can deploy a Lambda function on AWS. So first we start what is a non-serverless. So let's take an example. We have some code of REST API, and I need to execute my code on the server. Okay, so I will take an example of AWS. So I create a one server on EC2 on AWS. Okay, and configure my server to give 2 GB RAM and 100 GB of storage, and configure some other bandwidth. Okay, now I deploy my code on the server, and my code are execute on the server. Okay, and also configure ACG for a auto scaling group of for when the number of users are increased on the server. Okay, now in this case ACG included some server configuration like increased my server RAM 2 GB to 4 GB, and increased the storage to 100 to 500 GB. Okay, so for the EC2, all server configuration is the managed by me, and also take care of code deployment, and also handle some case when the number of users are increased. All this responsibility is handled by myself. So EC2 is charged on the hourly basis, and see, my server is running on constantly. If there are not any traffic on my server, in this case, also my server is running, and also charge the AWS for this. And the server is not issue in the case of AWS will be charged. Okay. So now we will understand about what is a serverless. So when I heard about the serverless, I thought like there are not any server, but it's not like that. Without server, code cannot execute. Okay, so AWS provides serverless server. It's called AWS Lambda, and in the AWS Lambda, we just put our code on the AWS Lambda, and AWS deploy our code on the server. It's allocate the configuration to our server, and we didn't not do anything. We just write a code, and AWS will manage all the server configuration. And if the number of users are increased, then the Lambda is auto scale the server. Means, for example, if one user are come to the Lambda function, handle the users. If 10 requests are coming, then Lambda generate 10 copy of our code, and each code handle one request. When process are complete, then destroy copy of code. Okay. So now see, Lambda function is not running constantly, but Lambda function is running when the incoming request is coming. When the request is complete, then Lambda function stop, and Lambda is charged on the per invocation. So we call it a cost effective, and in the AWS Lambda, you are only charged for the actual time your code runs, not from the ideal time. Okay, so now let's see how we can create a Lambda function. So for creating a Lambda function, we going to Amazon, and here we can limit to search Lambda. Now click on the Lambda, and here I select my region, and then click on the create function, give the function name. Function. Here I can define a node version. Here you define your node version. So yeah, okay, and then click on the create function. So I create a function for node.js. So okay, what Lambda function are ready. Now here I write some code, and we can create Lambda function in the node.js. Okay, so here I write some response like Lambda, and now my function is ready. Now I want to uh, deploy. Then click on the deploy. So our code are deployed successfully. Now I want my URL. Then okay, okay. Sorry, our code are ready, but now we need to create a trigger. Okay, so here I show some option like Alexa, API gateway, application load balancer. You choose anything. If you create Alexa, then click on the Alexa. This execute your code based on your voice recording and that. But I want to create a REST API. Then click on the API gateway. Then click on the create a new gateway, and I want to create a REST API, and then security. Currently I open, and then add. So our API gateway is adding successfully. Okay, and this is our API gateway. This is our base URL. So here our Lambda function are deployed successfully. So here is our base URL now deployed successfully. And if we need to change our code, then go there, go in the code section, and here right, my code is changed, and then click on the deploy. So our deployment successfully. Then okay, refresh. So our response are updated. Okay. So thank you for watching this video.